Today's July 7th, 2018, and I wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things that are going to be changing. I have several things that are upcoming that are going to be changing. At my job, my position, I'm a supervisor at the place that I work, and supervisors move potentially every 12 months. So when I went on my leave, before my leave actually began, I was on swing shift, which is a 3 to 11 shift at one location. When I came back, they allowed me to come right back into that same scenario, and that scenario had its pros and cons. And over the last 12 months, I've documented the things that I've actually had to interact with. But overall, it was a learning experience, and I grew to. These people are acquaintances, but they have been a bigger support than they could ever possibly know. They helped me, even though I'm a pretty confident person, they helped me with my confidence and encouraged me and noticed my transition and saw me before and rooted me on and really just made me genuinely feel that they wanted what was in my best interest. So I've been saying my goodbyes to a couple of guests that I know don't frequent the other place that we're associated with. We have two. And it's actually, like saying goodbye to part of your extended family, because I know that until I return to that location, I'm probably not going to interact with these individuals. And I'm going to have a whole different dynamic now. As grateful as I am to have the interactions that I did with these individuals, the new location that I'll be going to, most of, not every, because there are a few guests that go back and forth, but most of the people that I'm going to be meeting are only going to know me as Felix and as a man, and it's going to be refreshing. It's going to be different, and if transitioning into being male has taught me anything, it's that I have to be open to change. I have to be bendable. I cannot be rigid and wanting to stay in one avenue of life. I have to be willing to kind of bend with the wind, if you will. So today it's bittersweet, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna encounter this every time I switch, because this is just particularly because these group of people went with me through my transition and supported me so diligently. But I'll make new guests, I'll make new interactions, and I might see some familiar faces come along with me, because I am letting them know where I'm going to be, so they don't think that I got terminated or I resigned from that company. I've been there for a little over 12 years now, so have no intention of going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm very, very grateful for my job. I'm grateful for the people that I'm going to be working with. A lot of them are people that I do speak to outside of work. Yes, I'm talking about you. And regardless of how we separate our relationship at work, it's still very helpful to me to have that encouragement. I feel like I don't necessarily, and I don't ever want to project that this is a difficult thing to do, but there are moments and pockets of time when it is overwhelming, because you kind of think back on the progress you've made, and it's so different. It's just completely different. I'm sure if you compared my video right now to the one that I did in November of last year, which was my coming out video, it would just be night and day. It really would. From a scared transgendered person that hadn't done anything to transition to where I'm at now is just light years ahead. And I'm grateful for it. Very, very grateful for all the feedback, all of the comments, all the questions. I hang around with one of my buddies, and we work out a lot together, and we happen to be talking. This is one of my question and answers that I always encourage. And he wanted to know if I had to change the way I thought transitioning to be male. And I at first I was like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. But I kind of, in retrospect, understand what he's saying. So my frame of mind and my temperament, I believe, have changed, and not necessarily intentionally, but it has. for me, the effects of hormones has been a calming effect. I'm not so anxious or edgy, if you will. I'm not quick to get angry, and I don't know if that was a mindset that went hand in hand with the hormones, because when you do something as life-changing as changing your gender, changing your name after 36 years, at the time I was 36 when I decided to do that, you kind of have to pick your battles of what you're going to spend your energy on. And right now my energy is completely set on myself, and I have a lot of friends that are going through breakups and heartbreak and even work changes, and a lot of it is, when I talk to them, I'm like, you kind of got to chalk up losses and let it go, because it's wasted energy. And I've had to tell myself that, in the past year, it's wasted energy. If it's going to come to be, it will be. If it's going to work out, it's going to. But wasting time and energy trying to fight a losing battle is, unfortunately, it's a waste of time. If we could get everything we wanted by the energy we put in, such as anything, it would be for a good purpose. But my point is that when I transitioned, I decided that at that very point that I was going to use my energy for anything that I could possibly make better in my life. And if that meant, I do a 2-day rule. If something bothers me immediately, I go, in 2 days, is it really going to matter? And 9 out of 10 times it's not, so I just let it roll off my back. That's my new way of approaching life. So it could be because of my transition. Maybe I did change my way of thinking. But to me, my hormones I didn't walk in and my hormones just flip a switch. I've always felt like I was male. I always think my thinking pattern was male, and I believe that it's just proven true. Now, the next question was in regards to my diet and exercise. And I hope you watch this video, because the person that asked the question is actually subscribed. I thought about what you said too. When I started my transition, did the transition itself help me lose weight and transform into what I have now, or did I change it? Did I do something consciously? Well, yes and no. Yes, in the fact that my hormones are now male. So the male in my life are taller and more slender. Well, obviously I couldn't grow, but I could take the more slimmer gene. I probably can't tell by looking at me, but right now I'm actually in a 38 chest, a 32 bottom. When I started my transition, after my top surgery, I was in a 40, 30, 35-ish maybe, and I fluctuated down. And it's hard for me to see it, because I see myself every day. The only way I notice is in my pants, the way my clothes fit. But it's conscious effort. I'd be happy to work with anybody. I'm not a nutritionist special by any means, but if anybody wants to work out, go do some cardio, go do some free weights. It's fun. It's fun to me. I enjoy interacting, and it motivates me. My transition definitely helped motivate me and give me perspective. Somebody taught me that your stomach's only this big, so you shouldn't have to eat more than that. And if you are, then it's really nowhere for your body to distribute it except to project it in your body. So I keep that as a rule of thumb. I appreciate that that little nugget of information I got. But moreover, I'm just more self-conscious about what I eat, what I put in my body, and how it's going to affect my body. I'm very avid about how I present myself to the world. I feel like I have a responsibility to represent the trans community as positive as possible, and that's what really motivates me. So those are just a couple of questions that I had. I'll probably follow up in a few weeks. I'm excited to see how everything starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to start a whole new year for me in my employment, as far as my interactions, like I said, in my location. So it should be a really good time. Have a really good group. Very grateful for a millionth time of everything that's in my life. So I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. I did. It was really fun. spent a lot of time with family, and it was just very relaxing, much needed time with them. So I hope you all had a good time, and I will be in touch. Happy Saturday.